Hey folks, welcome back to Shadow Empire. This is a bit of a different video. I've been sent a game save by one of our community members called Skuld. So thank you Skuld for sending that in. He just wants to basically have me look at his game, see if he's making any obvious mistakes, and then, kind of give him some advice on where he can go from here. I've had a quick look at it, but I thought I'd basically leave this as a, you'll get to see my reactions to stuff. Now, from what I can see, there don't seem to be any, serious issues. He doesn't have any metal. We're on round 44. So, we're about sort of like not quite 4 years into the game, I guess, if we're assuming that each... Yeah, season 4 of 8. Yeah, it's hard to do things in terms of years. But let's just say that it's round 44 and then we know where we're at. He's got one zone, I think. Let me just have a look at this. Yeah, we've only got one zone. So that's a bit of a problem already. I think that one thing you've got to be a bit careful about, like, okay, let's start from the beginning. When we're talking about zones, right, if you have just one zone and it's large, and this is a medium-sized zone, I'd say. I mean, but you're going to start getting administrative strain, right? If you've got assets that are too far away from your zone, so that's one thing you've got to look at first. Now, the way you do that is you jump into the zone tab, and then you click on here, and this will tell you if you've got any administrative strain. Now there's 3% administrative strain. Now that's not a big problem because you don't get any negative effects from administrative strain until you hit 10%. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if he was to exploit this ruin here, then you'd get administrative strain, right? And the larger the asset and the further away it is, the more administrative strain you'll get. And that's a problem. So you don't want administrative strain. Once you start getting over 10%, it starts affecting things. And yeah, it's basically a production penalty, but it becomes severe, and you really don't want that. There's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't put a second zone up. Now, I'm not really sure about what the current meta was or is when it comes to zones. I kind of take the War of the Worlds and Matrix groups, that like the Matrix forums and War of the Worlds. They're the two kind of best places to go for this kind of thing. And War of the Worlds is way more active than the Matrix forum now. And I was chatting to some people on there the other day, and it certainly seems that this weird meta that people were coming out with when the game kind of first came out, which was don't ever make new zones. That might be a bit hyperbolic, but that's kind of that was the gist of it. Like, don't make new zones; they're inefficient. It's a bad idea. Blah blah blah. You want to build up this single zones. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think as always with Shadow Empire, it's a matter of it depends. Okay, so anyway. In the context of this game, what am I talking about? Well, I think here he's got one zone, okay, and we've got what looks like we've got some AI neighbours. We've got new land here with 2 zones, here 3 zones, in fact. We've got Mossbeak Clan, which is a hunter regime. But you don't see those often, do you? I don't see hunters very often. We've got Zealous here, which is a major regime, another friendly one. This is another group here. We've got Hogan Empire, which are also friendly. Right, he's basically got a bunch of Republicans, and Republicans are friendly. That's basically what they do. Now, they won't stay friendly forever. Here's what you got to look at in Shadow Empire, right? You've got to figure out where you are in relation to the victory. So, this is the Zorgalian Enclave, right? So this is the players. This is Skuld's faction name. And he's at number 5 with a victory score of 6.3. He's got 6.2% of the populace on the planet, and he's got 6.4% of the hexes. So this game is only just beginning, and at some point he's got to pick one of these guys. Now, if we just look at the size of the map, this is not a huge map, right? He's got about what, quarter of it unveiled, maybe a fifth. So maybe a sixth of it even. So there is going to be more territory, but this planet class looks like, well, it's obviously an ocean class because we've got maritime trading houses here. Let's just have a look at it. So it's a friendly planet. Yeah, this looks like a Gaia class planet to me, or some kind of Gaia class equivalent. Got a human-like kind of atmosphere. It's kind of slow spin, so it's going to have a fairly thick by a fairly thick atmosphere. Okay, it's got Earth compatible atmosphere. It's a bit smaller than Earth. Yeah, there's probably not going to be much metal. Let's just have a look at the planet, the civilization, colonization. Mining company shows interest. Miners flock to the planet. Right, so there ain't going to be much. There ain't going to be much metal on this planet, I don't think. And there wasn't a huge population. Right. By the way, when Shadow Empire first came out, this was a big population, 292 million. But this is like, you know, this is small now. I'd say, you know, it's kind of medium sized. You can get very, very small populations in the game. Why is this important? Well, it will determine how much metal you've got on the planet and how many ruins there are. Okay, so it looks like there are some ruins which he's not exploiting actually, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, and these ones here, like these are really important, the rare metals. So here's the first thing I picked up about this game save. Skuld. You need to go and get these ruins. You really want these rares are really, really important. Okay, so they're going to give you stratagem cards where you're going to get ones for your leaders. You're going to get some for your units, and some of them are really good. Like if you pick up a cloning facility, you are quids in, mate, because that will give you a boost for your population, and the more population you've got, the better in this game. Population, you know, it's an interesting thing about Shadow Empire, right? There doesn't seem to be a big problem if you've got very, very large pop, and you want to be attracting as many people into your cities as possible. Just bearing in mind that you need to have, you know, to do that, you've got to have quality of life, and the population is kind of a function of how much people want to be there anyway. So your population will not grow if you're not keeping it in a good condition, let's say. But yeah, so yeah, you want to get these, okay? Definitely get those as soon as possible. With this one's, we've got radioactives on a ruin here as well. Yeah, there's not many scavenging points in that ruin. It's 11,000, so there's not a huge amount of scavenging points. Has he got a scavenging asset up here? Nope. No, and look, this is another one. Look, the AR, sorry, your private sector is building up. Hold on a minute. I'm being dumb. Yeah, right. You don't want this to happen, okay? You will get some metal, but you're losing 126 metal a turn. Now, they're only producing 4 private credits per turn for this mine. So unless you've got, and look, you need this metal, okay? So what you want to be doing is immediately, you want to try and get this ruin. You want to nationalize this. Sorry, you want to nationalize this metal mine. Don't, unless you're swimming in metal, which can sometimes happen on these maps. You've got 21,000 here at level 5, which is reasonably difficult to get out. This is level 4, so it's even more difficult. Like, look, you're going to run out. This metal mine is going to get through this metal very, very quickly. Let's just see how it's working. Yeah, so you've got a decent governor. Your governor's like a decent miner. Let's have a look at the governor here. Mike Oates, governor of Domewild. Yeah, she's okay. If you had a better governor here, you might be able to get more out of your prospecting. So administration as well. Yeah, she's not bad, but she can stay there. She's a syndic though, so you got a commie in your government, mate. I'll do something about that. I don't like syndics in this game. They're so troublesome. Let's have a look at the profile that he's gone for. Meritocracy, enforcement, and mind, and it looks like he's tried to keep up the government. This kind of the society settings. He's trying to balance these a little bit. Yeah, okay, this is good. Look, so meritocracy. So he's got it to martial tournaments. So I approve. I also approve of both commerce and enforcement. This is a good combo, but you want this bureaucracy bonus as well. So if I was you, I would try to get into this now if you can. Get that bureaucracy bonus, because you're quite close at the moment, and you can keep these up. Like before you go over, if you go over 50, then they start suppressing one another, okay? But before that, they don't. So this is good. I rarely do this because I just forget about it. But this is a good plan. Now go into government, get the bureaucracy bonus. That's not going to hurt. And you know, the public industrial bonus as well is going to help you too, because you're going to get more out of your mines. Okay, so Yeah, everything looks okay. You are wasting oil here, so that's not good. So what you want to do here is I would put your oil drill down. You want to be getting it out at a lower, a lower production value. So you'll see that this bar goes down here. So you're actually getting less out now, and I believe that you pay less on the production costs as well, but you will still pay the full upkeep costs. Okay, so there's always an upkeep cost of 100 workers, but the energy and the workers that you're paying will be less. Now, not only, like, you've also got some cash flow issues by the looks of it. Not big ones, but these are manageable. 220 credits negative cash flow. That's big. That's kind of a lot at this part of the game. Let's figure out what's going on here then. Okay, you're paying your workers too much. So look, you see your workers' happiness is really extra high, and the private industry, the average income for a private sector worker is 0.002 credits, and you're paying them 0.005. So you're overpaying your staff. So one thing you can do, look, I think on one of my series I was kind of like feeling sorry for my characters, but don't feel sorry for them, all right? Oh, you got a courtesan, that's good. Oh, you got a load of these events. That's really cool. We can look at those in a minute. So go to the zone orders, and immediately I would drop the worker salary down to 3. Okay. In fact, I'd probably drop it down to 4 to start off with, just to be on the safe side. Yeah, look, they don't like that. They don't like not being paid. But you're gonna decrease the amount of money you're paying significantly turn by turn. Oh, so also, if you're wasting anything, like if you're just throwing oil into the river, you don't want to be doing that. So you definitely want to be paying it. This is as much as wasting the oil, right? Look, you only got 7,000 fuel left in this oil reserve. So you definitely want to be dropping that down. Drop it down to 50 or 25%. You're not using any at the moment. So I did notice that you've got a mechanized brigade, which is probably a good idea if you've got lots of fuel. On a map like this, you want to be using motorized troops and tanks without a doubt, and buggies and things. Okay, so that's just the first. That's one thing I've noticed. You could be a little bit more efficient with the way that you're running your economy. So don't overpay people. That's not a good idea. Eventually, the private sector income will start to catch up with your public sector, and in which case you will then need to kind of keep their salary. Just keep an eye on their happiness, and you might need to keep raise it. You've got some zone fear and some zone unrest. So I'm guessing something happened. All right, so that's one thing. If you need to sort out the deficit of money you've got. The other thing that you can do is probably raise your taxes. So you've got income tax of 20%. Now, because you're running commerce and you've got the regime feat free market, you've got that private economy bonus of plus 40%. Okay, and you've got opportunism as well. So this enables you to pay people less, by the way, opportunism, because you get a population happiness bonus. Actually, that's just for your people. I think the happiness bonus comes from worker rights. There we go. So if you wanted to go into government, if you wanted to pay your public sector staff a lot less, you can go heavy into government. So that's one way of doing things. So yeah, pay your staff less, and then this will drop, but it will go back up because of the quality of life score. Now, talking about taxes, your private look. Here's what your private economy are doing. Right, they're spending 118 credits per turn on income tax net. Okay, so that's how much they are spending. That's their. If you raise your taxes, you will get more money in your credits every turn, but you'll get less going into the private funds. So there's a couple of things you can do if you think that, like for example, they're building light industry at the moment, so you want to get that out dead fast because light industry is really good. That will directly help you in a big way. So yeah, they're actually building light industry 3 by the looks of it. So light industry 3 will give you. You'll go from 50, giving you 50 industrial points up to 115, which is significant. Have you got a factory on this? Let's see if you got industry up. Industry 2. So industry 2 gives you 200. So private industries, it's over half of an industry 2, and except you're not paying anybody. You're not paying the upkeep. You're not paying the energy costs. It's a high energy cost. So there you go. Looks like you've got way too much energy as well. So are you? Let me have a look what you've got here. Oh, you've got cloning. All right, so you've already got a cloning place up here. All right. Okay. So you have been getting some ruin. You have been doing some ruin scavenging by the looks of it. Where are they coming from? I wonder. That's interesting. Try and see where. It might be that they've been mined out, but the ruins don't disappear. I don't think. Scavenging points here as well. Look. Okay. My apologies. So it has been. Skuld has been, you know, getting some technology, unless these have come from cards, which is possible. He's building Industry 3. That's a good idea. When you've got loads of excess energy, get your industry up. But one thing that I've noticed is, okay, you're at a major city 5, that's fine. The problem is, I don't think I don't know if you needed to go to level 5 yet. So here's the thing. The way that civilization score is calculated, right, is you've got this quality of life score, and the calculation is, let me remind myself how this works. Yeah, the quality of life points that you get from each of the health, security, education, and entertainment is divided by the city level. Okay, so the higher you go with the city level, when you don't need to, then the more you're diluting your civilization score. So the more assets you're having to build, okay, and then the more power and more people you're paying to work in these assets, and these get expensive. So that's really important. Don't just upgrade your cities as soon as you can. It's not a no-brainer. In fact, it's a bad idea. You don't want to do that. The only time you ever want to upgrade your city is if you've got, let's say, what's your highest? Let's have a look at what your highest. Yeah, you want to upgrade high command as well. That, you know, if you're this level, you really want to upgrade this further. You want to get this up to as high as you go. Okay, the high command is really important. Bureaucratic office as well is another one. Bureaucratic. This is the first thing you want to build. If you can afford it, this is the first thing you want to build. Bureaucratic points are really important. You're only getting 50 bureaucratic points a turn. So the moment that you got, I mean, you would have started with a level 2 city, but the moment that your civilization score allowed you to, so you've got this civilization score here, yeah? The moment that this went up to level 2, you wanted to build a level 2 bureaucracy, and then when it got to 3, you want to build a level 3, and then when your city gets to level 4 city and you get level 4 civilization, then you want to get level 4 bureaucracy. Okay, look, you will lose the bigger your bureaucracy, and you're getting a bonus point. You're getting some bonus here, but look, this is not good. You are getting bonus points. So you're actually producing 147 bureaucratic points, and you're getting a 79 bureaucratic point bonus because you've got a small bureaucracy. But if you had bureaucratic office 5, which you can now get, you'd get 1200, okay, which is going to be way higher than 200. Even if you lose 50% of it through a big bureaucracy, which you probably wouldn't, you're still going to be, you know, 3 times as effective. So that's 3 times as many bureaucratic points to put into your councils, and you've got way too many councils for this small amounts of bureaucracy. So actually, looking at it now, this is the biggest problem with this nation at the moment. Your bureaucratic output is way too small. It's way too small. Yeah, look, I mean, for this turn of the game, you really have not researched enough at all. You've got some critical things. You do need a power plant, though. Don't go any further into these until you've got solar energy or power plant, okay? Because that could cripple you. I mean, you have actually got. I think you've got one of these grav collectors. So the grav that's really helpful. You can probably not worry about energy for a bit. I still would make sure that you get your economic council. I would put as much as you can into discovery. And then you need to make sure before you yeah, right, okay, here you're about to make a big mistake here, okay? So what you need to do is I'll do it on this game save. I won't send it back, but you'll be able to see the video. This is I made this mistake in my current series, and you don't do it. It's a massive noob error, and it's a killer. It's a killer, okay? It's a game ender if you don't do it properly. So if you make this mistake and you don't know how to get yourself out of it, this is what death spirals are made of. So what you've got to do, and let me explain what's going on. You need usually 3 techs in each group in order to open up. Now, engineering is a particularly bad one because engineering will open up 1, 2, 3 extra techs, okay? Extra tiers. It'll open up the 3rd tier and 3 blocks in that 3rd tier. So here's what happens. You've only got a small amount of bureaucratic points, okay? And that is divided amongst your, you know, however many councils you've got, like 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You've got 8 councils. And you've only got 200 bureaucratic points going between them. So yeah, this is the bureaucratic point is your big problem here. So firstly, before you do anything else, you need to get, what are we building here? Like, don't worry about Industry 3. You don't need that yet. Okay. Firstly, we need to, I'll tell you what, I'll do this turn, and then I can either save it and give it you back, or you can just kind of copy it. So first, we need to make some money. So let's, oh gosh, you've been selling lots of rares. All right. What do we got in the zone? Oh, we can sell some of the zone metal. I probably wouldn't do that. You got loads of machines though. Have you got heavy industry up? What's going on here? Why have you got so many machines, sir? And you're not using them. Okay, supply bases, oil drill. Got a metal mine too. Where's this one? What? Okay, that's what this one here. Okay. Yes, this is pulling up 298 per turn. The other thing is, right, that it's just quickly, it's really cheap. You'll see that the mines are really one of these that to go up in level the costs, the construction costs don't increase at all. So you can go right up to level 5. And all it costs is 125. It's 2 rounds for every level. It's 2 rounds of 125 metal, 125 industrial points, 1 machine, and 100 worker points. So they're super easy to upgrade. That you have got no excuse whatsoever to not upgrade all your mines. You want them in public ownership, and then you want to grab them all and upgrade them to the top level immediately, so that you're bashing out the metal. Okay. So metal comes first. After that, you need industrial points. The metal comes first though, because you need metal like in large amounts to upgrade your own industry. You are being helped a little bit by the fact that you've got some. Looks like you've got some auto factories or whatever. But you've got the private industry which is helping. So, but yeah, you need like get metal first. That's the priority. Then get industrial points. Particularly if you've got an excess anyway. You don't need any more industrial points here. So what I would do is I'd get this on, I'd just like put this on 25%, this industry, and immediately I would upgrade your bureaucratic officers, and you want to keep doing that until they get to the top level. Okay, so they're going to get bigger. So you've got to. It's not a no-brainer like it. Sorry, bureaucratic office. It's not a no-brainer like it is with the mines. Look, because each time it's going to be 500. The way that this increases is you're always paying 200 metal and 100 industrial points, but there's an increasing number of workers, and you're doing it for an extra round each time, and the upkeep cost goes up a lot, and the energy cost goes up a huge amount. So don't just blitz this up to bureaucratic office 5. I would get up to like probably bureaucratic office 3, and bearing in mind you've got to pay all your staff, so this is why we reduced our salary. And then you want to get your bureaucratic officers up. Then the next problem that we've got to fix is the fact that you have somehow missed out on power plant and solar energy, which is a really, really bad problem. Yes, you can get energy from some of these other things. Is it serpentinization? Yeah, this one. But you don't. Look, I'll carry on explaining what the problem is here. When you complete side skirts or vidcom broadcasting, whichever one this is, you've hit 3 technologies, which opens up these tiers. Now your small bureaucracy, which is now split between 8 organizations, right? And you are basically assigning only 6 bureaucratic points per turn to discovery. You're going to be discovering incredibly slowly. At the moment, that's not too bad because you've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, you've got 6. You got to roll. You basically going to roll a dice. And if you get a 6, you get like solar energy, which is the one that you want. Yeah, if you get a 5, you get power plant, which isn't too bad, but you're going to be using a lot of fuel, and you don't really want that. You don't want to have to use biofuel, okay? because biofuel looks like a good idea until you realize how expensive it is to create, how expensive in workers it is to create food. Okay, although you've got some nice farms here, it doesn't matter. It's still expensive to pay all your workers. So you've got a couple of options. You've got no option. Here is how to save this game. You got to do this as well, because if you don't, eventually your AI neighbors will start looking at your lands, and they're going to be down here, all right, while you're up here. They're going to be down here. Let me just have a look. Have you got any eyes on your opponents? Yeah, you've got like economy details. Don't think you've got any trade details yet. Yeah, you can't see what it is that they're going for, but basically they are going to be well ahead of you technologically. Okay, 3.92 they've got at the moment. Let's have a look at yours. Okay, your tech levels, like it's saying 4.43. You've gone deep into the tree, but the problem is you've not got and you've got a lot of stuff. The problem is you don't have the critical techs. And yes, you have got like an extra 500 a turn that's being just wasted at the moment. But that will be used up pretty quickly. Like if you go into Bureaucratic Office 5, look, that's going to use 310 energy. When you've got this Industry 3 that's using an extra 100 on top of what you're already using, you're not going to get much more. Like, okay, so you're not going to, that's not going to go very far unless you're lucky and you find another reactor or something as you're exploring, which doesn't look like you can because you're kind of penned in. You're going to be in big problems. So sort this one out first. You don't like what happens is if you open up this one, you're going to open up machinery. And not so that D6 roll now becomes D7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so it's now a D10 roll, and so you're diluting the potential picks that the RNG has got to go through in order to get this. So, and you're only dedicating 6 bureaucratic points to this. This is going to take you forever. Okay, so here's what we do. Firstly, we go to your secretary. Oops, that's not the secretary. And we go to the national budget and we go like this. Alright, nothing else is important as this. This is really, really important. The Supreme Command Council you can probably drop down, but the you want to put everything into, like, loads into the Economic Council. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so we do that first. They're all going to hate you for it, apart from the Economic, Vega Starfield from the Economic Council. Then you need to get somebody good. You got to get a good leader into your Economic Council. So, like, she's okay. She's pretty good. She can probably stay there. By the way, she'd make a really, really good governor. So you might consider eventually moving her into the governor role if you've not got a decent governor. Yeah, this governor's a bad governor. And the more I play this game, the more I'm starting to realise how important it is to get a good governor. Actually, she's got a lot of skills. She's actually built up a lot of skills, so she's not terrible. Actually, she's not terrible. But capability 1 means she ain't going to learn very quick. So you'll see that when she's trying to increase her skills, she's going to be failing a fair amount. Okay. So yeah, that's just a bit of general advice. You want to get a good governor if you've only got one zone. It's really important if you're playing tall. So yeah, the Economic Council could be better. Let's just you know how to use this system, right? So we want to be looking at Inventor. Yeah, it's Inventor in Science. We're just gonna go to the job type and just go to all, and then we're just gonna sort by who's got the best inventor. Okay, so she's actually the best one you've got at the moment anyway. So yeah, she's your best scientist as it is. The other thing you can look for is capability. Like, capability is really, really important. So if you just find your best capability level. Okay, right. Interior Council is absolutely bloody useless. It doesn't do it. All it gives you is it generates certain stratagem cards, and you might get better leaders maybe, but I don't know about that. So if I was you, see this character here, I would put her into your Economic Council once you've got what you want, because it's going to take her a while to kind of get good at the invention, and her invention score isn't as good as Vega Starfield's. Look, like, she's actually got 45 inventor, 34 intelligence, whereas she's 38 intelligence, so a bit more intelligent, but she's a capability 4. She's going to learn quicker. You might want to put her, like, she's wasted here in Interior Council. Get her out there. Interior Council, you can defund that pretty much as soon as you've got as soon as you've got like a decent like bunch of leaders in there, you and you've got your tax rating, you know, you've got your tax level at the rating that you want it. 20% is quite low, but you can't afford to, you probably don't want to be getting any more than that at the moment until you've got into government. Yeah, okay. So that's the big problem you've got to fix in this game, is you need to get power plant or solar energy, even if you and then you've got to go heavily into government. Sorry, you've got to go heavily into the Economic Council. Then you want to go into the... Sorry, you want to be funding the Economic Council heavily. Then you want to call this person here and go to priorities. And you want to go like this, basically. You don't want to... Like, just... Prospecting is still kind of important, I guess, if you've... But mind you, let's just see if you've actually... Let's go to zones. In fact, the prospecting report. Yeah, they can't discover anything else, so you just want to... You just want to go like this. Look, prospecting, bring out. I just put that down. Economic change, policy change, priority. Just like leave that low. Maritime trading house stuff. Just leave that low. You don't need that at the moment. And then research. Like just put it up like that. Look. Now you might you might actually lose some bureaucratic points because of this. I don't think you will though. You really want to do that though. By the way, Zealous turns its parliament against us. No, let's not meddle, because you don't want too many friends in this game. So you want to kind of go like Zealous is which one? Zealous, not Zealous as in they are a Zealous faction. Yeah, like they're okay. They've turned theirs cold. Okay, that's fine. You've got to go to war with someone, right? So I mean that is one option. Just bear in mind when you're going to war with someone that's not close to you, you've got to extend your supply lines a long way, right? Like these would be they'd be a good people for you to go to war with, but you just can't. You're too friendly with them. You're gonna have to spend loads of time playing stratagem cards to, you know, threaten them and all that kind of stuff, expelling diplomats, you know, keep asking them for help, getting credits off them. That'll upset them as well. And then the other thing you could do is go really, really high into autocracy, because if you go really high into autocracy, the higher you are in autocracy, then the easier it is just to declare war on friends without taking a massive happiness penalty. So I mean, really, you could attack them. Just a quick point: if you want, like, they look like they're friends, so they're not going anywhere. They're not going to attack you, unless they are high in autocracy as well. You've got to check that. Yes, these guys, they're not an autocratic. No, they're corporatists, right? Realpolitikers, corporatists. Yeah, they're a Republican corporatist. They're a bit more dangerous than the Realpolitikers, but generally speaking, they'll be okay. They're not autocracy, so they're not just going to declare war. Usually you want to be keeping troops on your borders to stop people coming in, but you're probably okay here. I'd go to war with these guys. Just pick those guys, go to war with them, take their shit, and take it all. So yeah, those are the big things. I mean, like, it looks like your economy is all right. You've just got it. You've got money in your private economy, which is okay. You're going to have more money soon as well, because they're going to have more money because, let me think about this, hold on. You're going to have more money because you're paying less salary, basically, and that's important because you're going to have more money per turn in order to, you're not going to be having to sell everything every turn. Don't until you've found a source of rares. Actually, you've got some rares, and that's okay. Oh, that's where you're getting your artifacts from. Okay, it's coming from here, from this very rare, which means you must have a scavenging. Oh no. Alright, you're not scavenging this either. You got 15,000 scavenging points. You absolutely must get a recycling facility on that. So you want to get these these out here. These rare artifacts, okay? It's really important. So there you go. So you can get your rare artifacts out. Put everything into economy until you've discovered both power plant and solar energy at least, if not both. And then I'd go for physical storage. This is quite an important one too. And at that point, then you can turn on your you also, by the way, you also need to go to, where are we? You need to go to your military council and say to them, please stop doing this. Okay, they're only going 4 points a turn, by the way, because you've got so few bureaucratic points. Like, really, you're getting four per turn. Really, what you want to be like 40. You want to have so many bureaucratic points. You've got such a big bureaucracy that you've got, you know, massive amounts of workers in each of these councils doing all these things. So you're kind of crawling along at the moment, but as it is, you've just got to put everything you've got into discovery. So yeah, that's your big problem. Get these. You can try to carry on without doing that. Like you could say, okay, look, no, I'm just going to ignore that and just try to, you know, wait on the luck of the dice. But without a bigger bureaucracy, you're going to be screwed. Okay, you really need to be. You really need to get your bureaucracy up. Okay, that's that. I think let's have a quick look at your models. You got good models. This line troop's good. Those guys are good. The Axie MG2 are good. That's not good, but yeah, that's a really crap buggy. However, you can redesign it once it's got some. Has it got some points? Yeah, we've got some field testing, so redesign that with the model design. The armored transport is also really pretty mediocre, so that one needs a redesign. The bazooka is really bad. Like the 50 weapon strength is terrible. You just need to redesign that. I just it's kind of got a low structural and low. I'd just make a new one. Don't iterate on that one. That sucks. Just make a new one. And then Abrams, that is really another really bad one. Look, any numbers below 90 are really is like bad. Any low, Daz Tactics says anything under 95 he kind of considers to be poor, and I'd go further and say anything under 100 I would consider, especially on an armor. I mean, look, you have been using. Oh no, you've not been using these guys yet. The structural design's okay though, so that means that, you know, it will re-roll it every turn. Every time you design it, will re-roll these numbers, and if it gets higher, then it will be higher. Okay, so you will, like with a decent structural design, it will get better. But it might be worth just kind of, yeah, with 98 structural, that's okay, I guess. You know, within a couple of iterations, that could get quite good. You might consider re-rolling it completely, just because these scores are just so damn low. Yeah, like the armor and the engine are just absolutely abysmal, and the weapons really not good either. So your models are kind of crappy, but you've got a decent infantry model. But like I say, your issue is not. I mean, your issue is going to be one of running out of power. You're not going to be able to fuel anything. Like for example, if you run out of metal, right, and you've not managed to take any more territory, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because you don't have, like, if you run out of metal, then you don't have the energy, right? You can't power more. You can't power, like, let's say you manage to somehow get metal soil filtration to get more metal. Well, in order to get that, you need where are we? You need heavy industry for the machinery, or you've got to be spending a ton of rare metals and industrial points and metals making your own, okay, to get metal soil filtration up. And I think you need high tech as well, if I remember right. I'm not 100% sure there, but I think you need high tech for that one too. So you're going to be buying them on the market, and that's expensive, okay. And then you've got to power it, and metal soil filtration sucks up energy. Like, it sucks up energy big time. So that is basically the way to get out. Or, you know, once you've gone through all your metal soil filtration pretty much is your main way of getting metal, apart from trading, and you ain't got the resources to trade, I don't think. You know, it's not trading here is, you know, is a short-term thing. You can't do it for long. Even if you've got decent commerce bonuses, like, it's not going to keep you going forever, and the private economy ain't going to save you there. So, yeah, get into government. In my opinion, you want to get into government, get to workers' rights. I think that's more important than these now. I'd just go straight for workers' rights and get that 50% worker happiness bonus, and then you can pay your people less, and then you can start building up, you know, more bureaucracy. Get another zone up, like here or something. You want more zones as well. You've only got one, and every time you build a new zone, so you go to colonize. Sorry, here's how you do it, right? You got a road going out here. Yep. So go to construct, click on create new zone, and then get a bureaucratic office up. First thing you do, okay? And then you can once that's done, then you can send some colonists, because you've been getting colonists, right? Nope, you haven't got any colonists. So what you want to do is call her and go to the zone orders. and get rid of, you don't want too many recruits, and then just say, right, who wants to be a colonist? Oh yeah, also recruit sign-up bonus. Don't pay your recruits that much. They don't need it, especially if you've got a decent. I don't know why Vic's got this set so high. Just you'll still get recruits. Like if you just put that on like 0.001 credit or something. Okay, you don't really want to be paying these guys. If you want more colonists, like let's say if you want like you want to encourage mass migration, you can then kind of start paying people because so you can get a lot of colonists per turn. But yeah, what I would do is you really want to get. You only need like a couple of thousand in order to get your bureaucratic office up. In fact, you can check it out, right? How many workers does a bureaucratic office take? You can check. 2,200. 2,000 workers and then 200 for the upkeep. So you need to make sure that you've got 2,200 colonists at least in order to get this bureaucratic office. Then you're going to want, it wants its own food probably, unless you don't mind your SHQ. Yeah, you got good logistics. You've probably got too many logistics. The other thing is you got kind of some spaghetti junction going on with your roads, which is I don't know, like if you're using the pull system it shouldn't matter too much, but in my opinion it does. Like I would traffic light this off. Look, like you don't need, like where's this going? I wouldn't even do it there. You've got no assets over this way and you've got all this bureaucracy. That's cool if you really like, if you want to kind of rapidly move your troops around, but you don't really need to do that. Like unless you've got a war or something, you're very unlikely to need the troops. So like you can either do it with this system here or you can just kind of do it with pull. But if you go to war with the guys down here, you want to get a road network. These by the way, you get a branching penalty in your logistics every 4, I think it's after 4 branches. So let's say you're going this way, you go 1, so you got 1 branch, 2, you got 2 branches. Then you go down here, you got sorry, here you'd get 3, and then here you'd get 4. So they are kind of moving in all these directions, but after the 4th branch you start getting a penalty, and the penalty starts reducing the logistics points in a big way. And you can check where the logistics are coming from. Look, it'll say coming from the north, coming from the southeast, coming from the southwest, blah blah blah. The traffic light system is a way of manually controlling all this. So you can say, like, look, here's what I would be tempted to do here. I'd get a dirt road there, look. Yeah. So now, and then you want to get rid of the road here. You don't need that one. Because you want to be like the shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight line, right? This you don't need here. So get rid of that completely. You don't need that road, okay? That's just wasting it. Hold on. There you go. There we go. Now, what's happening is here, you're making your roads more efficient. Now, if you're expecting a war or something, but even here, you'd get local pickup. So if you had a bunch of, let's say you had a brigade here, they're going to be getting local pickup from these roads. So you don't need all these extra roads. This is just wasting bureaucratic points. So what I would do is go through this spaghetti junction road system you've got, and fix it. I don't know. Like you can play this game and figure it out. How you like doing it. There's loads of ways you can do it. I'd basically just reduce the amount of roads. You don't need all these roads. Now demolishing infrastructure does take industrial points, but you've got industrial points to spare. You might think that why don't I just keep my roads? Because I might need them. The only time I would do that is if you paid a lot of money moving them through things like heavy forest and stuff, yeah. Or maybe like in that case, from here, like what you want to do is like let's say you might want to keep this road in business, with some logistics points traveling up there every turn, just because you might want a strategic move. Just cut the logistics off that way, okay? So when you like, you'll see here that logistics points won't be going up there, and there's no need for these to go up this way either. So if you don't want to just delete your roads, then that's one thing you can do. And then when you need them again, you can just go, okay, well, I'll just open up the traffic lights. You follow me? So that's one there. That's one way you can do it. Anyway, I don't want this video to go on forever, and so yeah, clean up your road system. Make sure you sort out your issue that you've got with the tech tree, because this is a bit of a noob trap, and I there's people complaining about it on the Matrix forums. And my answer to that was like, look, you know, once you're aware of it, just don't do it. But then maybe, I don't know. Like, I love this system. I think it's really, really good, and it forces you to make decisions. However, there is a bit of a, you know, this is a bit of a noob trap. Sorry, and I don't. By the way, Skuld, I'm not talking to you directly here. I'm not calling you a noob. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, and I apologise if you took it like that, because I don't mean it like that. What I mean is that for people who haven't played the game, who are inexperienced with the game, this is a trap, okay? And if you you have unwittingly stepped on a landmine that is going to destroy your game when you're fighting your enemies, right? And you're still researching side skirts at turn 40, or you know, or turn 80, and you've only just got Gauss small arms, and your enemies are coming at you with laser rifles, you know, then you've got a big problem, okay? And you've not got enough power to actually build any troops, because you haven't got the industry, and you can't get any more metal because you can't get metal soil filtration because you've got no power, and your people are starving because you're getting more people because you've got all these quality of life buildings that are also sucking power. People come into your city because you've got a really great quality of life, and then all of a sudden you've got no food because you've got no power to buy all your food. So then you're having to go into trade and you're swapping all your resources for food while you're desperately trying to research this power tech. Anyway, I'm not going to belabor that point. You get the idea. The rest of it looks good. Let's have a look at long-term strategy. Okay, there's a couple of questions that Skuld asked here. Yeah, he wanted to know like some medium and long-term plans, things that I should start to think about to be more competitive and aggressive. I think if you want to be more aggressive, try not to be friends with people. that's one thing. Playing Shadow Empire as this city builder, where because you've done really, it looks like you've done really well. I really like your profile pics. You've done really well here. You got better profiles than I usually got in this game. So I would strongly recommend you go into government and balance this now, because you've got some great stuff here. The population happiness bonus is helping you big time, and so is the private economy boost. Logistical bonus is going to help, and as a tax bonus. With the logistical bonus, by the way, you got excessive logistics. This is where I was going before, by the way. You could probably go to your truck station here and just drop these workers down. So you're paying less workers. You're going to get less logistics points, but then you're not going to be wasting. You're not going to be wasting logistics, okay? Because you don't want to be paying people to do stuff. You've got a rad treatment center. That's pretty cool. I guess you need it on this map. You got all these supply bases as well. I'd mothball these, man, unless you really need them. But they're probably not doing a whole lot. The supply bases are kind of cheap, but yeah, you probably don't. I don't know. They're quite cheap in terms of people working in them, and the upkeep costs, basically, and the worker points, the production costs. But you probably don't need these. Like, you're wasting quite a lot of these points. So sort out the road system so you've got more efficient roads. Remember what the Romans did? They just used to go straight lines, yeah? So you could just do one straight line right down here, and then one straight line kind of going this way. You might want to. These roads are great in these mountains, by the way. Just bear in mind that any road in this new DLC, any roads that are on the coast are potential. Like this, let's say that you went to war and you were fighting down here, and you didn't have, like, this is your only logistics, right? What are you going to do if one of those sea creatures just jumps onto your coast here and cuts your supply? Or if the pirates, if the maritime trading house drops a bunch of pirates, or maybe a major that you're fighting with, all of a sudden all your troops starve. So having the roads on the coast here is a bad move. Now, it is expensive to get road through jungle. Look, like, if you're going to get sealed road through jungle, like, 200, 420, it's 200 industrial points. You're going to spend a lot of industrial points, right? So don't just willy-nilly delete roads in, expensive terrain like heavy forests and stuff. But like here, for example, you've got a road going that way, and then you've got a road going down here as well. You kind of don't need to do that. The branching penalty is severe, so you've got to be aware of that. So yeah, fix your roads. You've got too many logistics. The logistics in Shadow Empire are really complex, and don't let anyone tell you that it's not. Okay, the pull system has made things easier at the beginning, but actually it's kind of more complicated in a sense now, because you've got more ways of doing things. And I think that if you've got the advice I used to say, and I did this on a tips video, was like, just build more truck stations. That doesn't really, that's not the best advice with the way that the new system works, actually. And it's not, you don't, like, you are paying for every truck station, you know, with thousands of workers, and then that translates into more, you know, more wages you're paying and less credits for you in the long term, and then that's less money you've got to spend on things. So while it can be handy to have these truck stations built, you just make sure you're not wasting these. Look, you've got these logistics points wasted, 700 logistics points going here, and you're just not using them. So just go through your empire, neaten up your roads, get rid of the spaghetti, and, you know, keep the ones that might potentially be useful, but then you can traffic light them off like this. And if you want to just pull points through, you can do it like that. If you want to just rely completely on the pull system, you can kind of ignore it. The game will look. You have, like, what's going on here is it's saying that you know, you could strategic move some of these troops around here. Whoops, let's get off this mode. So you could strat move these guys like in any of these locations. Look, but I don't know really how useful that is and whether it's worth you spending all that extra money on these. You've got the world's best truck system, but nobody's using it. Okay, like you got, this ain't Stagecoach. This is like some luxury company. You know, you got some, like, you got the biggest. What's that British truck company called? Eddie Stobart. You know, you got the biggest Eddie Stobart, like, truck logistics company in the world, but only out of the 10,000 trucks you got on the fleet, only 3 of them are being used. So yeah, like, where I was going before was that Shadow Empire as a kind of empire building, city management, economic simulation is awesome. It's way more fun than a war game has any right to be in this thing, in that role. And that's one of the reasons why I love it so much, because I remember when I used to just, like, expand, didn't care about the zones, didn't bother with quality of life. I was just fighting as a war game. And I know I think Daz Tactic plays it a little bit like that. He's not quite as bad as I used to be, but he kind of ignores a lot of this stuff and just kind of, like, tries to win, and that's absolutely fine. But there's a lot of pleasure to be had, right, in playing this game carefully with the economic simulation, min-maxing these numbers, which is kind of what you're asking for. But you won't win the game like that, okay? And you've got to get aggressive. So let's move on to the long-term strategic considerations. You've got to take territory. And I think if you want to be friends with these guys, that's fine. But then you're going to have to pick someone else to go to war with. So if you can figure out how to become... I don't know if you can... Let's have a look at these. This maritime trading house here. Yeah, there are some. So you've got these maritime trading houses here. What you want to do is go to the maritime trading houses, get a contract, open a contact with them if you've not already got it. Okay, you've got a contract with Dahlia Bay. So yeah, they don't like you very much. But they've got, like, plenty of fleets. They're a little bit greedy, but not particularly greedy. Actually using a lot of their tonnage. What you want to do, right, is talk to those guys and then see who else is out this way, because you've got a lot of map to go. Okay, you don't have to attack these guys. I probably would. Like, these guys are going towards cold with you now. Their relationship with you is low. If you just, if you invade them, you're going to get 1d10 happiness and 12% fist profile increase. Just do it. Just do it. Yeah, just go and fight them. You don't have to. I mean, obviously be in a better position at the start. You don't want to be doing that when you're not in a position to do it. But, like, I would just go straight to war with those guys. Have a look at what they've got. That looks like quite a good tank model, though. So just be aware that you need to get RPGs or your own tanks. But yeah, at some point in the next dozen turns, I would consider fighting these guys and taking them on. Have a look at who they are friends with as well. So go to, where are we? Regimes. They're at war with Newland already, which is these guys. So yeah, the quicker you go to war with these guys, the better. In fact, is this what's happened? Have they taken Mostein here? Did they take this off these guys and they've pushed them off? Is that what's happened? Or, I mean, we can find out one way. Oh, we can't see their civilization. We can't see what their culture is. So Yeah, we don't know what the culture is, but you'd be able to tell from the culture if they've been pushed out their zone. But yeah, so I would probably go to war with them, and I'd do it quick because these guys look like they're attacking. Either that or these guys are attacking in here. And either way, these guys are going to like you more if you do that. So get some tanks up. The problem is that you've not really got a good tank, and you've not really got... Yeah, I mean, fighting them is going to be hard. I think long term, I would... If these guys don't kill each other first, you know, if this empire doesn't swallow those guys up, or those guys don't swallow these guys up, your goal wants to be at least to take some more territory, get some more zone, get another zone, at least get access to this scavenging. Like, they've got rares in there, so they've got a lot of scavenging points here. This is really important to get. So that would be a good goal for you. Figure out what else they've got. It looks like, I think they've started here and they've been pushed out. I think that looks like what's happened there. Although they got tanks, so I don't know how that happened. Unless they've just got some crazy buggy. No, they've not got a hard attack on the buggy. It might be that they've just got some tanks here. I don't know. I don't know what's happened here. But yeah. Zealous, these guys are fighting anyway. It looks like I think that these guys started here. Maybe. Or they started here, they moved out and got here, and then they pushed these guys off here. I mean, I'm guessing that's what's happened. Or Zealous, oh no, or that's their Zealous are pushing in on them. Either way, mate, you've got a bit of choice, right? But you've got to sort out your economy first, and that's you. In order to do that, you've got to sort this issue out here, because, like, even if once you built up your bureaucracy and you know you're starting to get decent, you're getting models out, you can get a better tank. You're still going. Eventually, you're going to run into a barrier. So I'm going to revise my strategy of what I said to you a little bit. You might not want to go quite so high into economic council, but I probably would. I consider this such a serious issue that if you don't sort it out, it could kill your game. You could balance that a little bit with model design and redesign yourself a tank, because I don't think this thing. Okay, it's got 336 hard attack and 340 odd hit points. What's this thing got? Yeah, they got about 340. Oh, they got these aren't actually a good tank. This is a bad tank. Oh, and the reason is because they got howitzers on. All right, so they got howitzers. These are for attacking infantry. So you definitely want to go up against them with your infantry. But your Abrams. I don't often see high velocity guns on light tanks. I usually wait until I've got medium tanks for that. You have got medium discovered, but you've not completed the design of the model yet. So I don't know if you've got a model design. No. You could get a medium tank and then go ruffle stomp. And the problem is you haven't really got the economy to sustain it. So I would just use those tanks that you've got. Those tanks that you've got will wreck these, because these haven't got a high velocity gun. So they're going to be shooting at you hard attack. Their hard attack is going to be a 180, going up against 300 hit points. So you know, they're going to get a big 160 mil howitzer. Yeah, so they're going to get a big penalty for. I don't know if howitzers get a penalty. I think they just do soft attack damage rather than hard attack. So their hard attack's pretty low, and they're not going to. Yeah, you're going to wreck those guys. So you could get some tanks. That means you're going to need some metal. You don't want to go into this industry 3. You don't need that yet. I would probably instead get that metal mine under your control ASAP. So sell whatever you got to sell. Like go in here, sell some rares.
Aye, aye, sir.
But I don't think that's even quite enough. Oh yeah, there we go. So sell the rares. Then you want to nationalize that mine, okay? And then you've got more. Then you've got way more metal coming in, and then immediately upgrade that metal mine. So go to that metal mine. Go to construct metal mine facility 2, and yeah, just drop the industry 2. You don't want to be building that. You don't industry 3. Sorry, you don't need that. Don't cancel it, but I'd just drop it down to 25%. And then, you know, make sure you get your bureaucratic officers up and this metal mine. So you want to be getting more metal. Build some tanks. Go and attack those guys. Go and have fun killing those. Take some territory. Get yourself some model design points. Meanwhile, you're fixing your economy by, and you're fixing your problem with your, where you've not discovered critical techs at the start of the game. and then from there, you know, you can figure it out. You can talk to the maritime trading houses. I mean, if you wanted to get cozy up with these guys, then you could potentially attack these as well. You'd have to go into autocracy or reduce your friendship rating with them. So if you wanted to kind of take control of this continent, then go and attack other people, you could. Or you could find out who's over here, and if there's anybody over here that's like easy pickings, you've got it. But if you need a strong economy to use the maritime trading houses, so you're going to have to get your economy in a better state. But you know, you're not doing too bad. I mean, you got loads of private assets. These guys are doing good because you went into commerce, which was a smart move, and they're helping you with quality of life. That was a mistake going into major city too early. You've only got level 3 assets, so the maximum that you really need is level 3. So you could have had an extreme civilization quality of life here, but you've kind of, again, this is not your fault. You weren't, you know, it's just one of those things that unless you're really diligent about reading the tooltips and the manual, you won't know about. Alright guys, I'm going to end this here anyway. I hope that this was helpful to people, and I hope it was helpful to Skuld as well. And yeah, I think that the possibilities for the long-term considerations are pretty endless. Skuld also asked, can I develop air forces to drop forces behind the major factions? Yes, you can. That's absolutely possible. But get your economy sorted first, mate. And yeah, I'd probably attack these guys. Go and take some territory down here. See what happens with these. Like, these might eventually decide that they want to attack you and start souring their relationship with you. In which case, that's great news, because you can just start fighting them instead. And depending on the difficulty level, it will... Let's just have a look. What is your difficulty level on? Oh, I can't see it at the moment, but anyway, yeah, depending on what the difficulty level is, you should be fine. It's got some rough terrain to get through to get to these, so you might want to get the maritime trading houses to drop you off on the other side and form a logistical point. Although the thing is, you're going to have to have a port. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that works. I don't know if you can do that. But yeah, you've got loads of options. I wouldn't worry about the Oceania stuff at this point. I wouldn't worry about the maritime trading house stuff too much. The base game is complex enough, and you can get really into the weeds of figuring out. Like, looks like you've nailed this profile. This stuff took me a while to get used to, and it's only really recently since I've been looking at the profiles more carefully. When Daz and I did that Shadow Empire strategy podcast, when we were looking at it, and Daz was like, oh, I don't really use this that much anymore. And then he was looking at it going, oh, actually, these are pretty cool. I might have to have a look at these again. So you've got that part of the game, definitely. Yeah, you might want to juggle your leaders around. Definitely get this amazing leader out of the Interior Council. She's wasted there. Like, that's not helping you, I don't think. So she's probably your best leader, and you've got. I'd make her an advisor. You got a great advisor here, though. So and make use of him. Look, he's not being used anywhere. So get your advisor and attach him to your economic council. Now, if they've got different profiles, like he likes meritocracy and militia, and she likes meritocracy and commerce, she'll probably be okay. You'll find that the relationship will drop if they conflict, and you'll see that it will say, oh, the advisor's causing friction, okay, and it will say so. Yeah, look, penalty for friction with advisor or attached leader minus 15%. So she's not going to like that for long. I'd get her out of there maybe eventually, but she's doing an alright job. But yeah, Ina Jellyman, you want to get her into a better job. Maybe an advisor or a director of the Supreme Command Council. An advisor would be, once the advisor role comes up again, I would give her the advisor role. She's excellent. Like, she's not very good at war. I mean, she's got a really high war rating, but she hasn't got any skills. You could potentially put her into an OHQ for a bit, and make her be a general, and then she could learn how to be a general, and then you could make her an advisor. Because, like, giving her capability 4, she'll learn this like super fast. And where are we? What did she start off? She started as an enforcer, so she's already got. That's why she's got the high war level, I guess. Interrogation and all this. She's a good advisor. She'd also make a good governor. You could bang her in as the governor of your main city, and you'd just see. You'd get like massive bonuses on big bonuses on all your production. So that could also be a thing you could do. Yeah, so okay, to summarize, very, very quickly. Sort out your tech, get power plants and solar energy so that you can move into further down into the tech tree safely. You must not unveil any more of these. You got to stop researching these. If you don't, you're going to add another 4 economic council possibilities into this, into this whole bag of. You're dipping into a bag of potential techs basically, and you're adding more in there. So you don't want to do that. Then you want to, just sort your economy out a little bit, like I showed you. Just drop your salary. Sort your road system out. You don't need so many logistics at this point of the game. This is complete overkill. Some of the players but might disagree with me like that, and I often have people complaining on my videos going, "Oh, why don't you have railroads?" And it's like, I don't need them. You don't need to go overkill on logistics. Okay, don't waste money on roads. Don't waste stuff on money you don't waste money on stuff you don't really need. Basically, I'd probably build some more. I'd get some more military up as well if you're going to go to war with these. This is not enough. So I'd have like an RPG battalion or something, or I'd at least get your staff council when you've got some bureaucratic points to make a model, to make a formation type that's got some RPGs in there as well, just to defend against these kind of things. You'll have to get better RPGs as well. And then once you've done that, you can figure out who you want to go to war with. Alright guys, I'm going to end the episode there. Thanks to Skuld for sending in this. This was really interesting. I really enjoyed doing this actually. So if anybody else wants me to have a look at their game save and spit my stupid opinions all over it. I mean, I am a veteran of the game now, I'd say. I don't think I'm a particularly good player, but I have got a lot of hours in, so I've usually got something interesting to say and some advice. And if anybody's watching this and they completely disagree with this advice, by the way, just please let me know. There's a lot of people on my comments who like to they've often got counterpoints to things that I suggest. So everybody stick your oar in and let's see if we can get a discussion going. Thanks guys, I'll catch you next time. Take care.